everybody. Welcome back to Bucks Beat. This will be episode 109, and it's going to be a double dose of local sports. We'll take a look at the Braves and what they're up to, and also dive into the Falcons, a big weekend up at their complex at Flowery Branch. Let's start with the Atlanta Braves. Start with the Braves. And they started the season 0-7. I'm sure you all remember. What a disastrous start to the season. No team has ever made the postseason after starting the year 0-7. In the games the Braves have played since, 30 games they've played since that 0-7 start. The Braves are 18-12, and now 5.5 games back of the first place Mets. And sure, you may not have noticed, but the Braves' postseason odds have plummeted since the preseason. Preseason, there was a 91% chance the Braves would make it to the postseason. And now, that number is now 44% that the Braves make it to the postseason. So is this season spiraling out of control? Certainly appears so. And can the return of Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna Jr. boost this team enough to turn the season around and take us to the postseason? Right now, the Braves are number 19 in runs scored after coming into the season regarded as one of the top 3 offenses in Major League Baseball. So, how much will Acuna elevate this offense being back at the top of the lineup as far as runs scored goes? Well, right now, the Braves need his impact offensively. Also, the Braves bullpen, number 20 in ERA, which is not good. 30 teams in Major League Baseball. So how does Spencer Strider's return impact the Braves bullpen? He's a starter, right? He's in the rotation. Well, let's start right here. Braves brass has a decision to make. Do they go to a 6-man rotation or move Grant Holmes back to the bullpen, where he spent most of the time last season with the Braves? And I talked about this entering the season, that the Braves bullpen, my major concern coming into the year, and I believed that Grant Holmes, who would start the year in the rotation, Braves would be much better with Holmes in the bullpen. This is what I would do. I'd go with Sale, Strider, Swellenbach, Smith-Shawver, and Elder in the rotation. And I would put Grant Holmes in the bullpen. A.J. Smith-Shawver has totally elevated his game, as you know. The near no-hitter, one of the last times out, and he is now commanding his repertoire, throwing these pitches for strikes, able to move the fastball and his breaking ball outside the zone to really get after these hitters. And it's great to see. Smith-Shawver has turned the corner, and I'm sure the Braves are thrilled with that. Bryce Elder has been painting. It's a baseball term for pitching, not throwing. He's changing speeds effectively. The pitches are on the edges of the strike zone, thus the term painting. It's been very impressive. And I tell you, I'd have to go with that. Smith-Shawver and Elder at the back end of this 5-man rotation. Let Grant Holmes get back in the bullpen. And you're talking about a guy that can pitch multiple innings in tight games, high leverage situations. Would feel really good with Holmes back doing that. The Braves bullpen needs a boost, no doubt about it. And Holmes pitching out of the bullpen will make this Braves team better. Now to the offense. Acuna back at the top of the lineup should jumpstart this Braves batting order where they're going to be scoring more runs. The Braves have scored 4+ runs this season, 4 or more runs, around 35% of the time. And the hope is Acuna's return to the top of the batting order can get this offense back scoring runs in bunches like we're used to seeing them do. Take some of the heat off Austin Riley and Marcell Ozuna. A lot of pressure on those guys to step up with Acuna out. And also I think it helps Albies, Olsen, and Harris to get going. Need those guys to pick it up. One concern, though, I do have with Acuna is, remember last year, the start to the season for Ronald, he hit .250 in 49 games to start the year before the knee injury. So need Acuna to come in hot whenever it is they do to get him back in the lineup. And it seems like the Braves are being very careful. And, you know, you can certainly understand that with both Strider and Ozuna coming back. You know, the anticipation here was Ozuna would be back to start the month of May. And now it looks like with him getting some rehab starts, might not return until the 1st of June. Holding out hope we're going to see him before then. We've got Strider now getting a bullpen session coming up on Sunday. And then I'm assuming a rehab start or two at AAA Gwinnett, which is going to push his return back. And, gosh, we got the Mets now separating. Need these two guys back as soon as we can get them back. And so hopefully sooner rather than later before we fall a little further behind the Mets, who are first in the National League East. Now let's talk Falcons football. Big weekend. We've got rookie minicamp getting underway today as we start the recording of this podcast on Friday morning. We've got 16 rookies the Falcons will be observing during the rookie minicamp. We've got 5 draft picks and 11 undrafted free agents. And some of the boys at the coffee shop are wondering what exactly these rookies do at the rookie minicamp. Well, let me break it down for you. It's more of a team orientation that is going on, where to park, what door to walk through, where's the locker room. So getting familiar with the complex at Flowery Branch, get a chance to meet the staff, including your position coach, get fitted for equipment. Got to get that right. Get your playbook. Got to familiarize yourself with the playbook. There will be positional meetings with your position coach. And then you do get out on the field. And it's what the boys were wondering. How much work will they do on the field? Well, there'll be position-specific drills that they'll be doing and probably a little 7-on-7. Get an overall view of what's going on there. And this gives the coaches the opportunity to evaluate each of these 16 players that they've yet to really examine on the playing field. My interest is not on the 2 first-round picks, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. I think they'll be very careful with those guys on the field during the rookie minicamp. But my interest is really on 2 guys that are undrafted free agents and have an opportunity to impact this team in 2025. One is Kansas cornerback Kobe Bryant, who should be able to compete for a spot on this roster, and more specifically at the nickel cornerback spot. Falcons have a lot of corners that are on the roster right now. But as I look at the names on that roster, not a lot of quality options, if you know what I mean. This guy was an all Big 12 cornerback for 2-3 years with the Jayhawks and has made quite a name for himself there in the Big 12. Did not get drafted. Undersized is probably one of the reasons why, but doesn't really matter at this point in time. What matters is earning a spot on the roster. So I'm going to keep an eye on Kobe Bryant, hoping that his skills and his talent will allow him to win a spot on this roster in the secondary and maybe elevate himself into getting some playing time in the upcoming season. The other undrafted free agent that's really got my attention is San Jose State wide receiver Nick Nash. who is competing for a spot with the wide receivers. Falcons' base formation is in the 11 personnel group, and that is a 3 wide receiver set. 1 tight end, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers. That is the base formation in this Falcons offense. Well, you got Drake London, who's wide receiver number 1. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver number 2. And a year ago, we had Ray McCloud, who stepped in and filled the void at wide receiver number 3. I think based on what I've seen of Nick Nash at the college level, he's got an opportunity to earn one of the most likely 6 wide receiver spots on this Falcons roster. And if he develops quickly, has an opportunity to maybe compete and take over and get some reps at that 3rd wide receiver spot. He is a bigger receiver than Ray McCloud. Nash, 6'2", 200 pounds. When you go with a 3 wide receiver set, you're trying to still run the football, and what Zach Robinson's doing offensively, you want Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier to be able to run the ball successfully. So you would like to have a 3rd receiver that is bigger physically, that can help block and get this running game going. And Nick Nash certainly is big enough to help him do that. Really impressed with his pass catching and pass route running skills, too. Think he's really got a shot to make this Falcons team and maybe make them better. So this weekend, the Falcons rookies are taking their first step to earning a spot in the National Football League, which would be a dream come true, and looking to make the team for a team that is on an extended losing streak. We're talking about 7 years of losing here in Atlanta. Need all the help we can get with our Atlanta Falcons. So hopefully these 2 guys and the other 5 draft picks and some of these other undrafted free agents will have a chance to help make this Falcons team better. That's going to do it for this Bucks Beat episode. Appreciate you hanging out. We'll have episode 110 coming up next week.